Simply by looking at this image, everyone knows what company we're talking about today. But not only would they immediately recognize the brand, there are a number of feelings and values that come to mind whenever we think of Coca-Cola. The response might be slightly different depending on who you ask, but overall the general response will be similar. We think of happiness, sharing, diversity, quality, integrity, leadership, and any of these values come to mind because of the consistency in Coca-Cola's message and branding. This visual strategy relies heavily on differentiation and repetition, and the visual elements of the brand show exactly that. The ribbon is only one among many examples. Take the bottle, for instance. Not only is it iconic, but it also represents the values of the brand. It has developed with the needs and wishes of society through time until recently. So why has this development stopped over the past decades? We see more and more people rejecting the use of plastic straws, reducing waste, students around the world striking for climate. People are increasingly concerned with saving the environment, and so is Coca-Cola. So, since this conversation is more relevant than ever, why not use the opportunity in our favor? Knowing this, Coca-Cola has the chance to take action and underline the statement of shaping a better future. By developing a bottle out of biodegradable materials without losing the essence of the original bottle, Coca-Cola will be setting an example within the industry, but also towards the public. Coca-Cola already makes some efforts to be more environmentally friendly, efforts that remain unnoticed by the public. The company uses less water in production than its competitors and has reduced the use of energy in addition to carrying out social and environmental projects. But for many, this hasn't been enough. Releasing a paperboard bottle is a solution that would counter the criticism Coca-Cola has been facing on the amount of the plastic waste created in the past. At the same time, a bottle like this reinforces the values we were talking about before, and the brand would grow closer to a customer base that has previously rejected it for these reasons. The innovation of making a beverage packaging out of biodegradable and renewable materials would also reduce transportation costs and at the same time transmit the sense of integrity, leadership, and quality that Coca-Cola likes to stand for, all while maintaining the iconic image of the traditional bottle and what it represents to the customers. The relationship that Coca-Cola has been able to build with its customers has often also been reliant on the figures used for advertising. They are adopted as a personification of the brand, creating an emotional bond between the brand and the client, as it was the case with Coca-Cola's polar bear. But even though the polar bear has been one of the brand's most iconic representation, not only well recognized but also well liked during its first years, Coca-Cola has decided to retire this character. The polar bear campaigns were heavily criticized decades later, but not because of the bear itself, but for what it stood for. Therefore, just like the bottle, this character has failed to evolve according to society's needs. Coca-Cola has been known as a company that didn't have a positive impact on the environment, and so the polar bear has quickly turned into a hypocritical symbol to use, which was also the reasoning behind its cancellation. While this decision may make sense with their reasoning, Coca-Cola missed out on a great opportunity when they made that choice. The beer itself was well received and it was the perfect embodiment of the freshness and the coolness that the brand wants to transmit. The problem, therefore, lays within the context. If the polar bear was to be given a new meaning, it could be one of the brand's current icons again. The polar bear is a great fit to make a campaign that positions Coca-Cola as an environmentally conscious company. As a symbol against climate change, the bear would counteract the criticism that was made against it. It should not be targeted toward children like it used to be, and it cannot be seen as an insensitive action by a large multinational sending a pretentious or deceitful message. In this case, the polar bear will not be a perfect substitute for other Coca-Cola campaigns anymore, but it would have its very own significance and purpose within the visual elements of the brand. It would go hand in hand with the recyclable Coca-Cola packaging. As a result, these two elements together build a united front that can be visible enough to change the public's perception on Coca-Cola's social responsibility. The polar bear will be recognized as the symbol for the environment and its protection. Apart from the new image designed, the message remains consistent and coherent with the brand's identity, and mirrors and highlights the values that people associate less with Coca-Cola, even though they are part of their positioning and brand identity. Both initiatives will be complementing one another for a greater impact, thus making the message more consistent and visible for the public, and a way for the brand to finally be perceived as something they have been striving for quite some time. There is no doubt that Coca-Cola has a strong visual identity and have been very successful in their branding for a long time. But in an increasingly competitive market, the use of visual strategy to its fullest extent can be a crucial point to achieve. Therefore, the evolution of the brand with the customer's demands and opinions is essential. By listening to your audience in each step of the way, you can take advantage of previous defeats and turn them into victories by simply repurposing or redefining existing elements.